The Swan is a reality television show that is deemed one of the most controversial and offensive shows on television. And I'm talking worse than some of the shows we've talked about before. It is more demeaning than Are You Hot? It is more mentally damaging than Toddlers and Tiaras, not just for the viewers, but also for the contestants on the show. One word I can use to describe this show to a T is torture.
And what you didn't really see is the deep psychological problem someone might be feeling inside.
Underneath her body image issues, the 34-year-old mother of 2 teenage sons was suffering from extreme emotional trauma.
This show aired in 2004, and I realize nowadays plastic surgery is the most common thing in the world when it comes to celebrities, rich people, or, I don't know, just normal people in general. Plastic surgery is very common now. But in my personal opinion, I've always kind of been against it. I feel like it never really does well for your mental state, and a lot of times it makes your mental state worse than it does better it. I mean, I'm sure there are plenty of people who maybe have actually gotten better from plastic surgery, but just from my opinion, when it comes to the grand scheme of things, it doesn't ever help. And just to be clear, I'm not talking about a little tummy tuck. I'm not talking about lip injections or something small like that. We're talking entire facial reconstruction stuff. I just want to mention this real quick. Unnecessary facial reconstruction. I realize some people genuinely need it. Say they have scars. Say they have something that happened to them where their face got mangled. That's different. I'm talking about when your face is fine and you still get your entire face changed. But let me just summarize the concept of the show, because honestly, I don't understand how the show got past just the idea phase, because it's a disaster. It's awful. So the idea for the show was stolen from a legendary book known as The Ugly Duckling. Yes, this show is based off that book, where they take 18 quote-unquote ugly women and then basically from top to bottom completely reconstruct their entire body and face. And oh, must have slipped my mind. I forgot one little detail about every single one of these women. They're all very depressed. They have depression. It's a good little combination, isn't it? So what this show does is take all of these ugly, depressed women and basically tell them, hey, you know those thoughts in your head? You know how you tell yourself that you're ugly all the time and you don't belong here? Well, all of those things are true, but the only way you can fix it is plastic surgery. Can't imagine being a young girl who thinks she's ugly and watching this show. Really good for the brain. Oh, and I forgot, it gets worse. So not only do they do top to bottom, completely reconstruct their entire body and face, throughout every single episode, they continually just insult them. Now, this is not actually in their minds an insult, but it is like constructive criticism of their bodies and their faces. Oh, and they also give them, therapy, I guess, and they go through workout regimens, and sure, the workout regimens and the therapy are somewhat okay in my book. I mean, having a good workout and getting in shape is always good for the mind, but the therapist is stupid. Like what kind of therapist thinks that getting your face mangled and changed is good for you? Especially when you're depressed, especially if you have body dysmorphia, which a lot of these women have. Oh, I almost forgot. It gets worse. So each episode, there are 2 girls, and they pin themselves against each other and see which one is prettier. Oh, wait a minute. I almost forgot. It gets even worse. You guys know that one thing called pageants that is basically the most demeaning thing possible that any woman or man can do?
South Africa and the Iraq, everywhere like such as.
They pick the 9 quote-unquote hottest girls and pin them against each other in a pageant. These writers had to have just sit down and thought, I wonder what the worst possible thing we could do to depressed women. Just imagine how you would feel after undergoing so much surgery, so much pain, all this stuff, and then you lose. After you go through all that, you are deemed the ugliest one. The show is doing exactly what it's trying not to do. And for argument's sake, for the naysayers, people who are saying, oh, they feel better, they got better, maybe plastic surgery is actually good for them. Shut up. You don't understand how it feels to be depressed in a woman who doesn't like her body. I want those people to stick around for a second. Actually, you know what? Stick around for the whole video, because you're in for a ride.
Tonight, 2 average-looking women will go head-to-head in pursuit of their dream. But by the end of the night, only one of our contestants will be changed enough to make it to the ultimate beauty pageant.
You will see this term tossed around a lot, is the term average. They don't ever call them ugly, but they're calling them average, which is basically a sugar-coated version of just calling someone ugly. And they use this word all the time. I guess being a normal human is considered ugly in their eyes. Remember, kids, you aren't ugly. You just don't got enough money.
Let's surprise her with the news that she's joining the program.
Congratulations, you're ugly as shit.
Oh my god.
That's basically what they're doing. Like, that's basically what they're doing.
I believe that has had an impact on my relationship with my husband.
She's a little average.
Whoa, hey, what? You're her husband. What the hell? No wonder she has depression and hates herself. This is the problem, not her face. Her face is fine. She looks good.
I would best describe my daughter as a female copy of me.
Okay, we got her husband to insult her. We got her dad to insult her. Anyone else? Jennifer? Jennifer, I know you hate her. I know you want to say something mean? You want to say something mean to make her feel worse?
In the 3rd grade, he said, I told your teacher just not to expect too much out of Rachel.
So the show itself pinpointed the problems of her depression. Her husband doesn't find her beautiful, and her own father told her she wasn't special. Don't expect much from her. That's the problem, not her fucking face. This isn't a case of, yes, everything that your parents told you and your husband told you and all the bullies told you is 100% true. You just don't have money. You just need to fix your face. Instead of just confirming in her mind that all of those things are true, why not make her, I don't know, separate herself from that? Make her feel more self-confident. Like, this is stupid. She's not a fucking monster. She looks pretty as is. Just go to the gym. Get a little makeup. Maybe get your hair done. The fuck is wrong with you sick people? You don't need to change her face.
I want to make a difference in my life.
I think she's a difficult physical transformation. What do you want to do with that nose, Randall?
Lift up the corners of her eyes. She's got a sad look. Liposuction her chin, breast lifts, and total body liposuction.
Are you leaving any time for Greg to work on her?
I think it's going to be tough. She needs a lot of cardio work. I'll probably put her on a stair climber for those big, long legs.
I feel like this whole show is just insulting her. I seriously cannot find one positive thing they have said about her body, about anything. Every time a plastic surgeon talks, it's always like they're talking to a thing. Like they always mention how hard it's going to be. This one's going to be real tough, hon.
The key to getting Rachel to the pageant is to bring out her femininity. It's going to take a lot of work.
We're going to have to try and bring out your feminine side. That's going to be a real challenge, honey. Woo, that honker. That nose, that's really going to be a big old challenge right there. I don't know if I can handle that one.
We have to do quite a bit of a body change on her. She does have quite a bit of liposuction to do. So that will be a challenge.
Woo, I don't even want to think about the liposuction we got to do to you, hun. Damn, that's going to be a real ass challenge. So not only is Rachel put through this insane amount of change in her life and pain, but now we get to see that her husband is kind of an asshole.
I'm having serious issues with my husband because of his lack of support.
You know, the whole thing of he doesn't do much for her, he's untrustworthy, he doesn't really help, he's not really responsible. Again, like I said in the beginning, she's surrounding herself with people who are making her feel inadequate and making her feel bad about herself. Why not uplift her, bring out her inner beauty, make her feel better about who she is, not make her think about who she should be, like the whole point of the show, you dumb pieces of shit.
I don't look anything like that girl.
Congratulations. Now you look like every basic bitch on the planet. Look, I know I might be being harsh here, but they look like clones. Every single one of them look the same at the end. It is eerie and creepy. She lost every single ounce of uniqueness of her face, of her body, of everything. She is it's like a robot. She's turned into a Karen. It's a clone of Karen. I can imagine every single one of these girls going to a restaurant just to ask for a manager. I mean, just imagine if someone didn't like the outcome. It's not like you could just take it off. It's not like you could press an undo button. It's there, and it's going to stay. Oh, by the way, what I just said, that's going to come up later. Yeah, it happens.
Remember you called yourself average?
Oh my God.
I'm sorry? No. You called her average. She called herself ugly and gross and all that different stuff. You called her average. You stupid person. And it turns out her husband does leave her now. Don't get me wrong. The husband did seem like a complete asshole and a tool. But for example, hypothetically, I would never in a million years want my wife to get her entire face and body completely changed because I married her for her, not whatever they turn her into kind of thing. And it wasn't just her. Many of the contestants, yes, many of the contestants' husbands left them after the show. I mean, that could be like, hey, her husband doesn't like how she turned out. Her husband likes how she used to be, not who she became. And it also could be maybe since they were turned into Karens, they got an ego a little bit about themselves and thought, hey, I deserve better than you. I'm going to go find someone fake who likes me for my looks instead of for liking me who I am. Either way, it's a bunch of shallow people. Now, I've tossed up the term body dysmorphia many times in this video. Now, I just want to explain exactly what body dysmorphia is. Now, body dysmorphia is when you amplify small flaws about yourself. Like there's like a little small thing that maybe no one could possibly see or no one cares about, no one pays attention to, but you amplify that and you make yourself feel awful. So basically, it's a never-ending cycle of you never liking what you look like. So when you get plastic surgery, there's going to be scars, there's going to be changes to your body that you don't like, and you're still going to have body dysmorphia. It doesn't just poof. It doesn't just disappear. Your mental problems are not physical problems. You can't do plastic surgery on your brain. I mean, the only thing I could do to physically change my mental state is if I just jabbed a knife right into my head right now, just so I don't have to deal with watching this anymore. Actually, just to give an example of a show that does something similar to this, but does it right, is a show called What Not to Wear, because they don't do plastic surgery. They're doing kind of what I've been talking about this whole time, is focusing on not changing them, but just bringing out their inner beauty, like showing them that they are actually beautiful people. On What Not to Wear, they give someone $5,000, they go clothes shopping, give him a makeover, fix their hair. You don't need plastic surgery. And throughout the show, all they do is compliment them, build them up, give them positive reinforcement, tell them that they are not ugly. They just need to learn how to show off how beautiful they really are. It's great, and it doesn't require you to mangle your face.
How about in the gym? You've been complaining in the gym.
That's a damn lie.
Andrea comes into the gym and constantly complains. She needs to turn her attitude around if she even has a chance at making it to the pageant.
I just want to go home. Are you quitting?
Are you giving up? What, just because you have depression and body dysmorphia? You're worried your husband might leave you while you're still recovering from surgery and at the same time are having to work out twice a day when you've never done it before and you're complaining? I didn't know we got a pussy as a contestant. These are the type of people that when you're depressed, they say, oh, just go on a quick run, get over it. Yeah, fuck you, idiots. That's not how it works. And now we get to the joke therapy sessions like I mentioned in the beginning. And yes, I realize they don't show all the footage, but it is just hilarious watching this. Because all they do is tell them that they have a problem and then say, does that help anyone? Does that really help you? You know it's harming you and people around you. It's not gonna help.
Do you know what the payoff is for behaving like that?
I don't.
Think about it. You gotta recognize what you're getting from it, or it's gonna be really hard to change.
I want to win.
Do you win when you do what you do? Because even if you win the battle, you're losing the war.
It just makes things 100 times worse.
Exactly.
It's not gonna help. It's not gonna help anybody. It's not gonna help you. It's not gonna help. That's the equivalent of going to a doctor for a broken leg and him saying, yeah, you got a broken leg right there. It's going to hurt when you walk. You know, if you put pressure on the leg, it's going to hurt. All right, have a nice day. Why aren't they showing them, like, giving them exercises, showing them how to build their self-confidence, giving them goals? It doesn't make any sense that they just show, this is the problem, that sucks. Okay, by now I've pretty much unpacked a lot when it comes to the show itself and the contestants. But now I want to talk a little bit about the aftermath. Where are they now type stuff, what happened when they went home, you know, all that different stuff that no one really cares about, but it's pretty important when it comes to this show. Now I'm just going to mention some of the girls actually left this and are completely fine. They're happy. They have happier lives. They feel better. They look better. Some found new jobs. To be fair, a lot of the jobs are just from the fact that they were on the show. Like some of them even became models. And let's be real, that opportunity would not have presented itself unless they weren't on the show itself. So I don't know. You can't really put that up as the plastic surgery is the thing that did it for them. It's more of just the show itself. Kind of, you know, put their name out there, help them out a bit. So once again, I'm not saying that every single girl did bad or got worse or the show ruined their lives. I'm not saying that. But I digress. Let's move on.
Last year, the Swan phenomenon took the country by storm. Collectively, they received more than $4 million worth of treatments.
I'm gonna be in a string bikini before this is over.
When they returned home, who got engaged? Who's turning heads? And who gained weight?
Seriously? Who gained weight? This show cannot go 5 minutes without shit-talking someone, making some sort of insult somewhere.
Painfully self-conscious, Beth was also insecure in her marriage.
This girl kissed him. He kissed her back. I guess I'm afraid that nobody else would ever love me.
I was definitely jealous before, and now it's not a problem.
I apologize to her all the time. I'm proud to be her husband.
Oh, right. Now you're proud. You mean after she got her entire body and face completely redone, now you're her proud husband. Not before, but now you are. And I know that you cheated on her in the past, and it kind of really seemed like you didn't want to be with her in the first place, but now you're proud to be with her. It's probably just a coincidence.
A big part of my self-esteem is my face. A lot of times I look in the mirror and I just hate my nose.
I get cheek implants,
Like that call.
I love the fact that I can look in the mirror now and think that I know that I look good.
And what about Kelly's boyfriend?
People thought I was unsupportive. I've loved Kelly ever since high school.
He asked me to be his wife. It was really sweet.
We can't wait to get married.
Oh, right. Now, after she comes home, after getting her face and body completely redone, now you decide to stay with her and marry her. You know, we'll just chalk that up on another coincidence.
Mother of 3 girls and the daughter of deaf parents, Merlene Norman's biggest struggle was trying to make time for herself. And Merlene also had insecurities with her body.
Oh my God!
Woo! Smile a lot more. It's like I've always had these straight white teeth. It's day and night. Our communication level, our relationship is really great.
Well, of course, night and day. I mean, obviously, he's not talking about her plastic surgery and her changing her body and her face. That's not the reason it's night and day. It's her mental state. It's just a coincidence. That's number 3 coincidence. Oh, yeah. You guys remember the husband who called his wife average?
She's a little average.
Then he proceeded to not talk to her during the process and not support her in any way, basically being a complete asshole.
You better answer today. I'm not liking this conversation.
This is him after she came home.
I definitely received a lot of ribbing for calling my wife average. People make mistakes, and I definitely made a big one there.
Yeah, I made a real big mistake because now your wife has a different face and body. Now you love her. Now you want to care for her. Just another fucking coincidence. Put it up there, number 4. You guys starting to see a pattern of shallowness here? Now let's meet one of the contestants who didn't turn out great and wasn't happy with the outcome, because yes, that did happen. So this one was an interesting one because before Lori went into this show, she lost a crap load of weight. And when that happens, you get a bunch of loose skin, basically just to tighten up all the loose skin that happens when you lose weight. And I'm fine with that. That makes total sense. Like, good on her for actually losing so much weight.
I lost 120 pounds on my own. I wanted a tummy tuck because after losing all the weight, I had a Shar-Pei thing going on.
With her body image issues, the 34-year-old mother of 2 teenage sons was suffering from extreme emotional trauma.
Just trying to keep it together because I didn't know if I was gonna kill myself.
Yeah, she's the one who didn't like it, who the curtains went up and she acted like she was happy, but she was not.
On TV, Lori seemed amazed by her dramatic makeover.
When the reveal happened, I was shocked out of my mind. I could not believe that that was me. As soon as the camera stopped, I ran and I demanded my face back. It's the inside that needed to be fixed first.
This right here is such an important quote because this is what really needs to happen. The inside, your mental state should be stable before undergoing something this extreme. I feel like this does not go hand in hand, and that's where the show really went wrong. Because you are literally dumping every possible thing onto someone who is dealing with a lot. Because it's one thing to tackle your mental stability, it's another thing to completely do a full body change. But to put them together on top of going into a pageant and all these other things while you're dealing with depression, it's a pretty big thing. It's pretty awful because you don't know how bad the mental problems are. Some people, when they're depressed, some people could just, they'll get a little kick in the butt, say, come on, you could do it, and then they'll feel better. But a lot of people aren't that easy. A lot of people have deep problems that need to be sorted out before anything like this should happen. Someone turned out to not like it and then ended up being so depressed that they are actually way worse off afterwards. She doesn't leave the house. She doesn't talk to anyone. She gained a lot of weight back. It just ruined her whole life. And I've seen the comments on this video. People are saying, oh, well, she volunteered. She knew what she signed up for. She's a whiny bitch. Why is she complaining so much? She got $300,000 to fix her face and she's complaining? God, I wish I was her. I'm sure you don't. I'm sure those people don't know what she's going through. Little secret, she actually lost her husband 2 years before she went on the show. Just a recipe for disaster. And going back on the idea of, they volunteered for this. They wanted to do this. If you're depressed, you don't know where to go. And quote unquote professionals tell you to do this. Professionals tell you this is what you need to do. This is how it'll get fixed. You'll feel so much better afterwards. And they drop $300K on you. It's kind of hard to pass up. So now I just want to talk a little bit at the end about the impact this show has on kids, on girls, on boys, on everyone pretty much. I mean, just take our world now, for example, the ridiculous beauty standards that people try to hold themselves up to and say, man, I wish I was this. But in reality, it's Photoshop, it's plastic surgery, it's all these things. It's money. It's not a real being. It's not a real person. And so you always want to be that instead of being happy with who you are. So if you were watching this show and you're someone who isn't comfortable with your body, they would basically confirm in your head, yes, you are ugly, you are disgusting, you just need money. And you can't fix yourself. You can't be happy with yourself unless you get surgery, unless you drop $300K on plastic surgery. You'll never be happy. Sorry. It's so much more important to be happy with who you are than focus your entire life on who you want to be or what you want to change. You are you, and that's a good thing. Thank God the show only had 2 seasons, and it's never going to come back with some sort of spin-off thing. Oh my God, it is. But there is going to be a little bit of a twist so they can kind of dim down the controversy. So the show is basically the same premise as the Swan, except there's going to be a jury of people. They're going to have a jury of random people, and then people who want to get plastic surgery go into court and say, this is my story, this is my dream, this is what I want. And if 75% of the jury says yes, they deserve plastic surgery, then they get it. Oh, and guess what it's called? Surgery. I know, it just seems like they just wrote the title and then worked backwards. Hello, this is Editing Pig from the future. I just wanted to mention that actually the show that I'm going to be talking about right here actually is not going to happen. And the reason it's not going to happen is the host, Caroline Flack, yes, the same host of Love Island, apparently died a day ago. Yes, a day ago of me recording this video. Very morbid and very sad. Rest in peace, Caroline Flack. But thank you all so much for watching this video. I appreciate every single one of you. And I just want to mention to those people who want to support me with these type of videos, because they take a lot longer and the majority of the time it gets copyright claimed, To those who want to support me, I do have a Patreon that is open if you want to support me there. Also, if you don't even have money, you could just either listen to my music or just watch my other videos if you want. Also, if you want some cool merch, you could support me by clicking the link in the description and buying some fancy merch. I mean, hey, let's be real. It's 2020. YouTube does not pay YouTubers anymore. Basically, all comes down to the audience's support at this point. But yes, if you guys want to support me, all of the links to all of those things are in the description. But once again, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I had a lot of fun making this one, and there's going to be a lot more of these in the future, so be expecting a lot more content like this. Thank you so much. Make sure to like and subscribe and kiss your neighbor. Just go up to him, knock on the door, and kiss him. That could lead to really awkward situations, but you probably shouldn't do that. Bye.